Hello, welcome back. It's Thursday. So excited to be with you guys. We have a very interesting topic. I am excited. We are talking about millennials and their effect on the workplace culture. I am a millennial. Last week, we dove into the X factor in Gen X and their contributes to the workplace culture. But now we're talking about my generation. So let's go ahead. So VPS, Veaux Professional Services, we like to call ourselves modern HR. And so we lead with the inside out. Again, my name is Miracle Simeon. I'm the COO of Veaux Professional Services. And then our CEO is Hope Malvo. So let's get into it. What are we talking about today? We're talking about millennials in the workplace culture. Who are we? What is our ethos? Why are we the way we are? Millennials as leaders, working with millennials, and then how do you motivate us? So it's going to be really good today. So let's just talk about who are millennials. So millennials are those individuals born between 1980 and 2000. And so we grew up in a rapidly transition into the digital tech space. And it's different from our Gen X that we saw last week. They literally started with like beepers, 8 tracks, and then went to smartphones. At least we had a shorter transition as far as the different versions. Like we experienced still the cell phone, but like the Nokia, the Blackberry, and then we were there for the iPhones and the Androids. When it comes to cassette tapes, we did have the VHS and then CDs, and then of course streaming. So we saw transition still, but it was very quicker. And depending on if you're an older millennial versus a newer millennial, I'm right in the middle. So that has a lot to do with who we are and how we process things. So let's talk about the work ethos of millennials. We want to feel valued and we value flexibility. We want purpose driven work and work life balance. And we don't truly understand the reasoning behind a 9 to 5 in a sense that you want me to be here at 9 and leave at 5. Like I can get my work done in a shorter amount of time, and I can kind of like do it offline in the sense that I have a burst of energy at 2 o'clock in the morning or even 7 o'clock. And like after I put the kids down and ate dinner, then I can go out and knock out this project. So that's kind of our thinking. And I'm gonna get a little ahead of myself, but the reason why we are like this is because of who raised us. So if you think about it, I tell this all the time. My parents are baby boomers. And so you either have baby boomers or Gen X as your parents, if they are, older Gen X. But we literally saw our parents give their all to one company their entire life. And so as we're growing up, then there was an economic turn and they lost their job, lost their pension, like that. So you mean to tell me these people missed baseball games, missed dinners, didn't come to anything because like work was everything. So you barely saw your parents and they gave their all to this one company. And it seemed like overnight they were laid off. And we are conditioned to like, nope, I'm not going to, because it's something that we experience. So we're like, okay, I'm not going to miss my children's life when I do have children and I get married and just work all day, come home for like 2 hours to interact with their kids, and then go to sleep and start it all over. So we witnessed that growing up, and we're like, nope, we don't want to be a part of it. We want to enjoy life. There's more than working than just giving your all to this one company, because they don't have any loyalty to you. If their bottom line drops, they will lay me off. So we experienced that with our parents. Another thing that we experience with our parents is, because the silent generation or even Gen X raised us, they asked us what was our opinion, especially for the silent generation. So the silent generation now, baby boomers have us. And so they asked us what we wanted to eat for dinner. They asked us where we wanted to go for a vacation. So they literally raised us or conditioned us to have an opinion and voice what we wanted. You see that switch versus, older generations. You had to stay in a child place. You be seen, not heard. All of that was passed down to them. So they wanted to do it differently when raising us. So they asked us. I tell the story all the time. Like, my niece was 5 years old, and she couldn't, not that she controlled, but for the family vacation, we asked her, Claire, where do you want to go? And she wanted to go to New York to go see the play, The Wiz. And she's 5. All of us, not me at the time, but my mom and my aunts and all of them, they're in their 40s, and they're asking this 5-year-old, what do you want to do? So of course it is conditioning us to speak up and say what we want and demand what we want, because we've been conditioned for so long to have a voice, because I feel like that generation didn't have a voice. So they made sure we did. That's just a little background of why we are the way we are. I have this conversation a lot, and millennials are the way they are because you guys raised us to be this way. But again, we saw the internet boom. We saw the recessions come, and we want to have this. We do have this blend of optimism, adaptability, but we have a desire to be transparent and authentic throughout our well-being, and that's how we show up as millennials in the workplace. So I think that's really, really good, in my opinion. So let's talk about millennials as leaders. So as leaders, millennials tend to be more collaborative and valuing feedback. And think about it, it's because we were conditioned to by our parents to ask for our opinion. So of course we value it when we are leaders. So we truly care, and it okay, so some people, I'm not gonna, sugarcoat it. They say that we are like babies and we always need to be we always need to check in and like how we do it. But in my opinion, I view it as, we know that we want to know exactly what you guys expect of us when it comes from leadership, so we can do that thing to be successful. And so the same thing as leaders, and we try to be extremely clear in our communication and ask them like, hey, what's your feedback? Do you want to do this differently? I see that a lot, even in me. I'll throw someone out there and I'm like, but wait, do you have a better way of doing this? Because I truly don't care how it gets done. I just want to know the results. And something that the older generation will probably do is like, they wanted to control the how, the why, and the results. And so when it comes to us as leaders, we truly want, and that could be, if you're an employee, it could be like, really? But we really want to know, like, let's check in. Let's see how you're doing. How can we help? So I feel like we're really good leaders because we promote that collaboration and how can we step in and help you, that perspective. Okay. How is it working with millennials? I do have some compassion for you guys because it may be a little hard to work with this. But again, it's clear to provide clear communication and continuous learning opportunities. We think that if we missed a mark, Like, how can we learn from this? And because we know that things change and we're okay with change, like it's like, okay, like how do you want me to do this better? And I love the fact that we like to work with a sense of purpose. Like we want to know how what we do fits in the grand scheme of things or within the company. Like how do we impact the company? We love that. Of course, working with millennials, you got to have check-ins. You got to know what motivates them. So in my mind, if I have a quote unquote relationship, in a sense that we talk often, you should already know what motivates me because you as a leader has invested that time. So you know that for Miracle, giving her, free lunch or food wouldn't motivate her, but leaving early on a Friday would motivate her because I value work-life balance and traffic is crazy. And that doesn't even cost you anything. So it's important for the leaders to know what motivates their millennials and their employees in general, because it could be something so simple like, oh, can we have healthy snacks in the break room? Okay. So it could be something so simple. And we are strategic when we are constantly asking for feedback and what can we do, because we want to know how to be successful and are we doing a good job. Versus other generations, it's like out of sight, out of mind. If you're not speaking to me, then I know I am doing a good job. But for us, it's not like that. So we do want check-ins, we do want feedback, we do want to constantly improve. We want you as leaders to invest in us and say, hey, this is an area that I want you to work on. And how can we come up with ways to improve this and vice versa? Like, we love that. So, in conclusion, millennials are the best. No, I'm joking. In conclusion, millennials in the workplace shape the workplace because it's a lot of us. If we give some stats right now, we are the largest working generation right now in the landscape. Like we learned last week, Gen X do hold more leadership positions, but as a whole, we are majority in the workplace. So if you are watching this, you got to know how to motivate us and where we coming from and just meet us at our level. We don't like the gimmicks of the millennial narrative, like, just give them a beer pong and a bing bag and that's it. We truly, truly want to know how are we impacting the organization. And we also realize that if we're not impacting the organization or we're not clear on how we fit and why we matter and why we're important, we will leave. So we don't have a problem with knowing like, oh, I'm not getting paid enough. I will leave. So motivating us in a sense of the culture, make sure your expectations for us for the your workforce is very clear. Make sure you're providing regular check-ins. Those check-ins will give you the knowledge to motivate, how to motivate the population you're working with. So increase your touch points, increase your conversations, and then you'll get to know them and then you get to see what makes them tick. And at the basis, you get to find out why they are the way they are. Just having a conversation with people and coming from that humanity aspect is so important when we are talking about the millennials. Oh, right. I just love talking about us. We're just really, really good. And the fact that we love technology and we're like, what's the system to fix this? We are always talking about the system so it can be more efficient and we can get the job done faster. We're like, if it's broke, let's figure it out. But again, with that being said, if you are on this call and you want to know what's going on with your culture when it comes to generations and how to motivate the right talent, we are your people to contact. So Vogue Professional Services, of course, is offering our culture pop-up workshop. It's an hour for leadership and we can do a deep dive on how ways that we can increase the motivation of your employees and really figure out why they do the things they do. But of course, thank you so much for watching. You can contact us at our website, reach us by email. You can call us. Thank you again for watching. Have a great day. Bye.